I already told you about how I made money for my first PC as a kid, but considering that video gained more than 200k views, for which I really thank you guys, I don't think I told you the full story or included some interesting details I left out. If in the previous video I talked about how I made money, today I will tell you how I almost got involved in a financial pyramid scheme, and it almost cost me not only money, but also my life. Now, let's get started. Okay, I'll be real with you. I didn't even want to record this video at first. This story is kinda personal and low-key embarrassing. That's why in the last video, I just mentioned it quickly and moved on. But today, I gathered all my courage and decided to share it anyway. After all, we are all human, and these embarrassing moments are an important part of success stories. Though I'm not sure if this counts as a success. You can judge that by watching the previous video. So like I said before, I almost got caught in a financial pyramid. Here's what happened. I was 15, broke, and desperately searching for a job online to save for my dream PC. I found a ton of job listings, but one stood out. It offered really good conditions for students aged 15 and above. It was a flexible schedule position titled call center operator. According to the description, I was supposed to answer clients' calls and help them, like real call center operators, and the salary was quite good, around $300. Just to clarify, in my country, to become an officially employed call center operator, you must sign a proper employment agreement, which is only available to those over 18. If you're between 16 and 18, you can sign a limited contract, meaning your employer can't give you extra work or keep you for more than 7 hours a day. But I was 15 at the time, and I knew that at that age, you can only work up to 4 hours a day doing safe and easy tasks. That means a teenager had no legal chance to earn more than $150 at the time in my country. So I looked into jobs like waiting tables or working as a promoter in local restaurants. Technically illegal, but still done. These jobs were available because employers often ignored the law through corruption or personal connections with the police. That meant cheap labor for them and job opportunities for teenagers. I'm telling you this so you can understand the limited opportunities for teens under 16. So the call center operator job shouldn't even have existed. It was clearly a trap, but as a 15-year-old, I didn't know the law, so I didn't suspect anything. I simply submitted my phone number and waited. But to be honest, back then, AI wasn't as popular as it is now. If it were, I could have just asked ChatGPT or any other AI tool to analyze the company's action and tell me whether that job listing was a scam, without wasting time on interviews. But now, on the other hand, there are so many AI tools out there that it gets confusing and expensive. Luckily, you don't have to worry about that anymore. Just visit chatllm.abacus.ai. It's a powerful all-in-one platform where all the top AI models come together in one place. You get access to GPT 4.1, Claude Sonnet models, Gemini 2.5 Pro, GPT-04 Mini, DeepSeek, and more. On top of that, they also recently included Grok 4. The best part, Road LLM picks the most suitable model for your prompt automatically. Not just text, you can generate images, videos, docs, even PowerPoint slides all in one platform. And their Humanize feature, it makes your AI content sound more natural and helps bypass those annoying AI detectors. All of this is just $10 a month, which is way more affordable than buying each tool separately. Check it out at chatllm.abacus.ai or just click the link in the description and pinned comment. Now let's continue the video. After a day had passed, while I was messing around at home, I received a phone call from an unknown number. I picked up the phone and answered the call. There was a girl on the phone. Let's try to generate a random name for her to soften the story. Let's call her maybe a Persian name. No, hard to pronounce. Let's choose a Russian name. Agata? Nah. Nastya? Okay, solid. Let's go with that. Okay, Nastya said that my candidacy for this position was considered interesting to them, so she called me in for an interview to represent their company and discuss the job details. I agreed and was kind of happy, because I thought I had finally found a job to save up for the dream PC I'd been wanting for so long. After a while, she sent me the address and the interview time via WhatsApp and politely asked me not to be late. It turned out that the address was located close to the city center, about 25 kilometers from my house. It seemed quite far, considering traffic, turns, and lights. It could take up to 1.5 hours to get there. But I didn't care because I was already excited to finally get a salary and buy the PC parts I desperately wanted. The next day, feeling excited, I dressed decently, or at least that's what it seemed to me at the time, took the bus to the office, and noticed something strange. Even though it was in the city center, it was located in a closed courtyard. Not something typical for a well-known company. But because I was kind of dumb, or at least dumber than I am now, I brushed it off and told myself it was probably nothing. Still, a grain of suspicion remained. As I was about to enter the building, I noticed a girl probably around 21-23 years old staring at me. I thought, why is she staring at me like that? It even freaked me out a bit. When she got closer, I started realizing that this was probably the girl I had spoken to on the phone. And yes, she was Nastia. She came up and said, "Are you Aman?" I said, "Yes." She said hello and told me follow her inside. We entered the office, which was full of people in suits, mostly women, and each of them had someone like me sitting across from them, clearly new and not understanding what this place was. Nastia and I sat down at a table and she began asking questions, mostly personal stuff like, "Are you a student? Do you live far from here?" etc. But the most important part was when I asked about the salary. Every time I brought it up, she changed the topic. She kept saying things like, "We work with a lot of Chinese, American, and European companies," and even asked me if I'd heard of Hewlett-Packard. I guess she thought using the full name would confuse me. But no, I said, "Yeah, I guess." And she kept talking, mostly nonsense. I didn't really understand. It was just filler to make the interview seem professional. After she finished her monologue, I asked again about the salary. She noticed how often I brought it up, smiled awkwardly, and finally gave an answer. She said it would be $400 for the first 3 months and it could increase. But I sensed hesitation in her voice, as if she was just making it up on the spot. At that moment, I looked around and noticed something. There were no actual call center setups, no workstation, no headsets, nothing. They didn't even show me a workplace. That's when the scam alarm started ringing in my head. But still, I decided to stay to see how this scam worked, if it really was a scam. I had nothing else to do and I was just 15, curious about everything. As I said before, there were a lot of people there also looking for jobs. So eventually Nastia told me to go home and wait for a call to find out if I got the job. After all the weird stuff that happened that day, I just went out to hang out with my friends in the evening. And while we were chilling, Nastia called me again. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't want to answer, because if I did, I'd probably have to go back there. But something made me pick it up. This time, Nastia congratulated me and said my candidacy had been accepted by the company, and I had to come the next morning for an internship. I was like, oh shit, here we go again, but I was still curious. I woke up early in the morning and went to the hellish place again. This time, Nastia met me once more. She congratulated me again for the second time and sent me to a room that looked like a university classroom. She said that I had to come there for 3 days in a row and listen to some lectures to understand the job. I thought, okay, nothing seems bad or suspicious, until a lot of people started entering the room one after another. I asked myself, why the hell do so many people want to become call center operators? And finally the last person walks in, probably the teacher. And instead of talking about calls or clients or whatever, this dude starts giving us a speech about financial mindset and how we are all broke because of our mindset, blah blah blah. Like bro, what does this have to do with answering phone calls? But to be honest, the guy had great charisma and was a solid storyteller. That's what kept me listening. Still, I was sitting there thinking, did they hire these motivational speakers just to brainwash people better? Because nothing else made sense. After about an hour and a half, a new teacher comes in and starts the next session. At this point, I'm fully confused. So I raise my hand and ask, what even is this company? She tries to dodge the question with the usual, we've been in the market for 15 years speech, but I cut her off like, no, just answer the question. She hesitates, her smile fades a little, and then she finally gives me the name of the company. I'm not gonna mention it here because I'm not about to give free promo to a scam. So imagine a company that sells health products, vitamins, and things like that. But here's the catch. They don't actually make most of their money by selling those products. Instead, they profit from getting people to recruit others, who then have to buy a bunch of inventory or a starter kit. And those new recruits also need to recruit more people to earn anything. Classic pyramid scheme. They throw around buzzwords like financial freedom and passive income, but the truth is that most people at the bottom lose money and only a few at the top make anything. So right after she told me the company name, I wiped out my phone, opened Google, checked forums and review sites, and holy crap, so many people had the exact same experience. Some said they left after 1 day, others said they stayed for 3 days, got brainwashed and were pressured into buying some miracle product for $2,000. Some were even offered bank loans with promises they'd make it all back 5x. And the saddest part, a lot of people believed it and bought the overpriced trash. Months later, they realized they were scammed, couldn't sell anything, and were left with useless products they couldn't return. Some reviews even said the managers were super pushy, texting nonstop, and when people figured it out, they just ghosted them, blocked, and gone. And I was literally reading all of this while sitting there in the middle of the lecture, so I just stood up, walked out of the room. Someone said something behind me. I didn't even look back. Yeah, maybe it was rude, but should I be polite to scammers? I don't think so. Even if I had stayed for the full 3 days, I wouldn't have bought anything. First of all, I was broke. I only had the little bit I'd saved for my PC. And second, I wasn't even legally old enough to take a loan. Maybe they would have tried pressuring me to call my parents, but my parents aren't dumb. They'd never give money for that bullshit. The most frustrating part of the whole thing was the wasted time and bus fare. That's it. But I really feel sorry for the elderly people who got tricked and never even had the chance to read reviews. So please be careful about your grandparents or even your older parents, especially if they can easily fall for something like this. And yeah, at the beginning I said this story almost cost me my life. That might sound dramatic, but trust me, there were people scammed so badly it did ruin their lives. So if you like this video, make sure to subscribe and take care of yourself and your loved ones. Peace.